Hello and welcome back here in the Brickworld studio, and in today's update we are going back to our big cinema project here on the right side on that table. As you can see, a lot is already done, a lot is still to do, and we really want to work once again here on that main room here on that big cinema one room. A lot of different angles, a lot of complicated building techniques, so stay tuned for today's update, and of course some new minifigures are coming too. First of all, I needed some new parts for today's update. A lot of these seats in red and a lot of parts, of course, in black, because the main color inside our cinema one is black. So I ordered some new parts, especially these bricks. Also 1x2 tiles in red for the seats, of course, and a lot of these 2x6 plates in black. That's the main part I'm using inside of that room. Some other parts, and these are a lot of parts, but I don't think that it's going to be enough for building up everything here. By the way, as you can see, we have a little problem because the angle of that roof here for the entrance area is not the right angle we have on the right side for our seats. So we have to rebuild that part here on the left side. We have to check out the right angle. It has to be a little bit lower, but that's not so complicated, I think. But by the way, we can see a lot of chaos is coming here on the floor. Just a lot of parts laying around because I just need a lot of these parts. For especially that one here, that's not an official Lego part because it's a part you can't find in the catalog of Lego parts. It's a very interesting 1x1 part, but we have studs on both sides. You can just switch the side of the studs, which is very interesting here for the side of the cinema. So I can, in a future update, build upside down, so I can really add, for example, these little cheese slopes for adding the side of that area here. I can also see that I lowered the angle, so I had rebuilt these columns here, but now we have the perfect angle to build up everything from the lower area to the upper area with seats and rows here, and we have a lot of rows still to build. It's not going to be finished today, but you can see that we have now a better angle to work up here, and I'm really sure you don't know how much time I had to spend to find the perfect angle and integrate everything. And here you can also see that I had to rebuild some parts here, especially these hinges parts here, because the angle is a little bit complicated, so I had to test a lot of stuff. But at the end, I think I'm quite sure that it's a perfect angle. As you can see here, we have a very nice area here with some new seats, and the angle of the seats is really good to the angle of our entrance ceiling here. And it's a little bit complicated to work here, the seats and the rows, because you cannot push every plate on every seat really down, because you do not have a really holding area underneath it, because you just build on top of that very fragile construction of that ceiling. So it's a little bit complicated. It takes a lot of time, but at the end I think we're on a good way to get at the place we need to go. That column here, that mainly yellow colored column, is just for testing. It's just put it in here because I had to check out by counting. That's a little bit complicated, counting up everything, so we have the exact location where everything could be or should be connected at the top. So that's the location I need to connect everything. And that also took a lot of time. It's one of the complicated builds I have here in the city, because you have a lot of these different angles, you have these complicated construction techniques, and everything is not really fitting all the time, and it's really complicated. But I think it's very nice because you have that very nice view from the side, like through this cut-through area. By the way, that area here on the left side, I really want to rebuild that because I think that does not fit the overall look of the building right now, but that's something for a future update. But as you can see here, we are on a perfect way to get up here. There's still some rows missing, but yeah, everything connects how I had it in my mind a long time ago, and everything comes together. And that's a very interesting point because it fits at the end. I had to rebuild some stuff. For example, that area here where the column is connected to that ceiling of the entrance area. But at the end, I think everything will fit and everything connects. But as I said before, it's complicated. By now, I can also remove that testing column here on the left side. That's not necessary anymore. And it's just fine. And by the way, as you might know, you can send in your minifigures for your community project where you can fit in your minifigures into our big Cinema 1 room, but you also can send in whatever you have, like old minifigures, old parts, and that's something also somebody did here with some old parts from an advent calendar. That's very nice because there's often very nice stuff inside, interesting minifigures. And as I said, minifigures, these are from Andre and Micha, and they send it in 2 minifigures. You can see them here on the right side, and they are going to be placed inside the Cinema 1. As you might know, you can send in minifigures in normal city look, or you can also send them in a kind of cosplay fantasy look, because there's going to be a fantasy movie running in Cinema 1. And now we have 2 more inhabitants here that counts on to 1,401 in minifigures here in the city. An increasingly amazing number. And yeah, just thank you very much. And you want to send in some minifigures or parts, just send them to the imprint address. By the way, I got some packages from Fantasy, not only 1, but I got really 3 of these sets here, one of the newest sets from Fantasy. By the way, the newest or the first one with integrated light. And I get 3 of them because I'm building up 1, and then I'm going to use the other 2 to make a brick world version of that building in my city. So thanks a lot to Fantasy. And as you can see here, the chaos is coming back, getting bigger and bigger, but we have reached a new goal. On the right side, you can see the cinema screen running, but on the left side, you can see that we reached the last row here. And yeah, it just fits. And I'm very, very glad that everything fits together at the end. Of course, there's still a lot of work left to do, but at the end, everything fits together. So it's just now building up some stuff, but the overall system works, and that's very, very, very important. And that's it for today's update. We reached a very important point in our building process of building up that cinema. As you can see here, everything, looks quite nice now with that upper part of our Cinema 1 and the entrance area with that very complicated ceiling. The screen on the right side is running, everything connects, and just also changed the lights here because last update they were on 1 row. Now they are going up like the cinema room itself. And on top of it, there are going to be the speakers in a later update. So I also integrated some of these parts with studs on the side. And yeah, that's it for today. As always, if you want to see more of my city and all other projects here on the Brickworld Studio, just feel free to subscribe here on the channel. And also, if you want to say something, feel free to write whatever you have in mind in the comment area. I'm really reading everything and really try to answer every comment, but you can be sure that I'm really reading every comment. And by the way, the ceiling of the big area, Cinema 1, is also going to be a very interesting project in a future update. But for now, I think we got a nice point to finish up everything in today's update. And yeah, as always, do you have anything you want to say about the building process of today? Do you have any ideas for upcoming projects? Just put it in. And yeah, next up, we are going to work here down on that area. We rebuild that area on the left side. And also, we need to really build up the entrance area before we can finish up on above. So stay tuned for future updates, and bye.